I've been playing War and Order for about a month and a half now, and there's a lot to learn, a lot to take in, but I've met some awesome people that have taken the time to teach me and show me things. It's been able to allow me to pass that information on to you guys. So if you do want to start playing War and Order, you have some of that information that I have been able to learn, and you don't have to kind of go through it the hard way like I did. I've done some things right, I've done some things wrong, and I want to take this opportunity and use this video to do an informal video and give you guys kind of a progress update video on where my development's at, where I'm at with my base, where I'm at with my troops and my army, some tips along the way that I've found, that some things I've done well, some things I haven't done that will help kind of put you guys on the right track a little earlier than I was able to get on the right track. I'm excited to share my update progress with you guys. I hope you guys are excited to see it. Let's go ahead and kick it off. Welcome back, guys. Before we jump into it and start kicking everything off and going through the progress video, a couple things on the front end here. Number one, if you guys are interested in downloading War and Order and playing the game, the download links to the game are going to be in the description of this video, as well as all of the links to the official War and Order social media pages. And of course, thank you to the team at War and Order for sponsoring today's video. All right, now I want to give a few shout outs here, and then we're going to get going. So there are 4 players in particular that have kind of gone above and beyond. They have no idea who I am. They have no idea that I make videos or anything. They have just gone out of their way to help me learn and grow. And they're all very experienced players, and they have helped me tremendously. And that's going to be Destiny from MRT, Scarlet from MRT, Big Nasty from MRT, and Jupiter from W2D. Those 4 players have gone above and beyond for me without knowing who I am. And they're obviously all very experienced players, and they've taught me a lot. And so I just wanted to make sure I give them credit in this video because I really, truly wouldn't be where I'm at if it wasn't for them. All right, guys, so now let's kick it off with talking about my castle and all of the buildings in my castle and kind of where I'm at with the progress and all of that. So you guys can see I've got just a ton of stuff going on screen. I've got a couple of upgrades going with buildings. I've got troops being trained. I've got technology going, and we're going to kind of get into that a little bit more in depth later in this video. But the building progress has been awesome. My castle level is level 17, and just like pretty much any other game, your other buildings can't exceed what your castle or your whatever the main building is in that game, whatever that level is, your other buildings can't exceed it. And for me in War and Order currently, it is 17. So I have been saving up resources to try to get my castle to level 18, but in the meantime, I have been doing upgrades on all these other buildings. And you guys are probably wondering, well, if you're trying to save resources, then why are you upgrading other buildings? And that's actually going to be a bonus tip towards the end. So if you want that tip and how I'm able to do that, make sure you stick around. But yes, I've been upgrading all of my buildings. You guys can see pretty much all of my buildings here, with the exception of a few are level 17. I'm currently upgrading my 4th barracks. It is level 12 now. I'm working to get that to level 17. A ton of my resource mines are level 17 as well. We're going to get a little bit more into these specific buildings here in just a few minutes, but working on upgrading these couple of groups of buildings here. But overall, I've gotten everything up to match my castle level, and it's going really well, and it's helping a ton. Something I would really, really encourage you guys to do, if you guys do have the ability to invest, a small amount of money into the game. Obviously, if you don't do it. But if you guys do have the ability and want an edge, the golden hammer, guys. When I first started playing War and Order, everybody was talking about, well, get the golden hammer, get the golden hammer. And I'm like, okay. Well, I did it. Now I see why it's so important. And I don't remember exactly how much it was. I think it was maybe like $4.99, something like that. But it gives you the ability to upgrade 2 buildings at one time. And that is tremendously helpful. So that would be my tip there. If you guys want to be able to progress your stuff faster, the golden hammer, key. All right, now let's jump into my college and let's take a look at my research and where my progress is with all of that. So this is going to be, I'm kind of going to update you guys on where I'm at, but a few tips here as well for your research on the front end. As you guys can see, there are 5 different sections available to you. You've got development, resources, military, guardian force, and city defense. Number 1 priority is going to be development, followed by resources, followed by military. Obviously, all of them matter, but those are going to be the 3 main ones, at least out of the gate. The Guardian Force won't even be available to you right away, but that is not a priority early in the game. And city defense is helpful, but development, resources, and military are probably going to take priority over that as well. And I say probably because it depends on, obviously, who you are, how much you invest, things like that. But if you are a casual player, then development, resources, military are going to be your key priorities. So my development tech tree is looking really good. I've progressed literally as far as I can go. I'm about halfway. You can call it halfway, maybe slightly over halfway, but I can't go. The only reason I'm not continuing to do it is I can't go any further until I upgrade my castle. You guys can see I'm bogged down here until my castle gets to level 18. Same thing here. Can't do anything, and they can't do anything. So I'm stalled out here, but so far, so good. I've made progress on a pretty good chunk of my development tech. Transitioning into my resource technology, starting to make progress on this. This is actually one of the things I did wrong early in the game. I did development and military, and I let my resource aspect go, but now I'm making up for lost time. So you guys can see, obviously have quite a bit of time to make up for, but I'm a little less than halfway, maybe creeping on the halfway point, but making some steady progress. We're getting there. We're starting to catch back up. And then my military, like I said, I started out hot out of the gate on military, was kind of flying blind, and I have since kind of reined it in on the military focus, but have made a little bit of progress. I've got these first, two big sections, or most of these big sections done, and then I've kind of left it alone here. So I'm probably 40-ish, 45% of the way through military. Obviously, as you progress with anything, it's going to get more expensive. It's going to take more time. So we're going to see what that looks like long term. But so far, I've made steady progress on all three of them, but I really kicked it into gear on development, and I've gone as far as I can. All right, now I want to take a few minutes here, and I want to give you guys some tips and some things that I've learned that have been incredibly helpful. So number one, when it comes to base buildings, your hospital, level that up to match your castle level. Do not let your hospital fall behind, because you want to be able to heal as many troops as possible. When your troops die, you lose power, you have to retrain them. When they are just wounded, you can heal them. So you do not want your troops dying, especially if you're going offline and you get attacked, you don't have a peace shield, whatever. Make sure your hospital is always leveled up as high as you can possibly get it, and make sure it matches your castle level. Along that same conversation, your medical tents and your training grounds are also incredibly helpful buildings. Make sure, even before your training grounds, make sure your medical tents, all of them, not one of them, not two of them, all of them, are maxed out on level, and continue to keep them maxed out and continue to keep them updated with your castle level, because these are also going to basically be an extension of your hospital. These are going to allow you to have more wounded troops stored, and that is going to mean you're going to have less troops get killed. The training ground is helpful because it is going to allow you to train more troops, so that is obviously a bonus within itself. The more troops you can train, the stronger you get, the more potent you are going to be. So the medical tents are priority, training grounds are a close second. As you can see, I have leveled up all of my other resource mines. That's kind of a personal preference thing. If you don't really want to or don't have the ability to, you can obviously collect plenty of resources just by gathering and like normal. I went ahead and did it just because, but you certainly don't have to. But out of these kind of smaller buildings, again, I know I've repeated it like 3 times now, but I'm going to do it again, because that is how truly important the medical tents are. Max your medical tents out. And then another little bonus tip for you guys here in the defense command. I made the Infinite Wars dedicated video. If you guys haven't watched that, I definitely encourage you to go watch that. It gives you a real in-depth breakdown of Infinite Wars, but just a broad overview of Infinite Wars. This is one of the mistakes that I made early on. I didn't really do Infinite War. I didn't understand what it was at first, so I just kind of left it alone. I was focused on learning other things. Don't do that. Do Infinite Wars as soon as you are possibly able to, because that is going to give you what are called courage coins. And let's jump into the Infinite Wars. Let's jump into the shop and take a look at some of the items that are available with your courage coins you can earn, because I want you guys to see how beneficial it is. So here's a look at the exchange store. Obviously, you guys can see it refreshes some, but it's got a ton of valuable items. You guys can see I've obviously already bought some of these items. I need to go through here and obviously buy some more, but you guys can see I've got just over or slightly over 11,500 courage coins built up. So make sure you participate in Infinite Wars. Don't neglect it like I did, because you can really come in here and get some valuable items. And of course, as your castle level increases, you're going to be able to get more and more items through this exchange store with your courage coins. All right, I've got 2 more things for you guys, and I'm going to wrap it up here. Number 1, your bonus tip number 1. Let's call it that. Bonus tip number 1 is always be doing something. What do I mean by that? So what I mean by that is always make sure that you're training troops. Have your barracks training troops. Always make sure you're doing research of some form, and always make sure that you guys are doing events. Make sure you guys are farming, doing all of the things to continue to grow and improve. Don't get lazy, don't stagnate, and get complacent. And then for the big bonus tip that I was going to give you guys that I told you about at the beginning on how I was able to upgrade my buildings without spending resources. And this is huge, guys, so make sure you guys are paying attention. These monthly card packs, incredible, guys, truly incredible. So you guys are going to have 2 options. You guys are going to have a value card and a supreme card. You guys can get them both. I went ahead and went with the supreme card. You guys can see the daily rewards. If you guys get the value card, you're going to get 300 gems and then some rushes. The daily reward for the supreme card is going to be 1,000 gems, some rushes, and some stamina. But you guys can see the big thing here is going to be the building benefits. So it doesn't matter what building it is. If the required materials or resources to upgrade that building are less than $1 million, it will cost you nothing. So you can upgrade them for literally free. You want to talk about a big advantage? That's it. Being able to upgrade stuff without having to, spend resources to do so is a huge benefit. And when you guys start to get into higher level buildings, what you'll find is obviously it's going to cost more and more, and you're going to exceed that $1 million amount threshold. So what it's going to do is, let's say something cost $2 million. It's going to take $1 million of that away. And so now you're saving half of what it would have cost you. So you're only going to pay $1 million if it's $2 million. So if you can, get these monthly cards. If you can't, obviously it's not a make or break, but if you can, these monthly cards are incredibly helpful. That's going to wrap us up, guys. Like I said, it's a pretty informal video. I just wanted to give you guys an update on my progress and some tips along the way on what I've learned and what I think are really helpful things that I've been taught, so you guys don't have to go through the growing pains I did. And again, thank you to those of you that have taken the time to help me and to teach me. It's saved me tremendously. And again, thanks to the team at War and Order for sponsoring today's video. Thanks to all of you for taking the time to watch today's video. I hope you enjoyed it. I hope you guys are learning. I hope you guys are finding value out of these videos. And with that being said, that's going to wrap us up, guys. Thanks for hanging out with me today, and we'll catch you guys on the next one.